Yes, everybody, what's happening? MyTyme here, back with another episode of MyNBA2k18. And before we go back into King of the Court, two things I'm going to go over. Firstly, is for those of you that watch Shiny Bacon plays, or Bacon as I'm going to call him for now for short. In his most recent video, he was playing me on a head-to-head, and I didn't know, to be honest with you. As I have mentioned, I do kind of play some of these without paying any attention. I go into autopilot, I do my thing. I didn't realise I was playing him, but he happened to be on camera, and yeah, he happened to beat me, so it's probably one of these 9 losses I got. So when I'm playing now on my PC only, I'm going to have my recorder open when I remember, just in case I pick up somebody I know like him, so I can record the outcome and get my revenge. Obviously if I lose, there'll be some technical error and the recording won't happen, but anyway, yeah, so congrats to him once again. I'll put his description, in the description I'll put the link to his channel below, and please go check him out. So the first bit of good news I have is in my last playoff, although I didn't win, I did get this card. Okay, so I got myself a Brook Lopez. Now yes, that would have been a pro, it would have been a pro from the previous event, but still it was a single elite card. Wasn't a pro for me, but happy to get one. Then was playing the event, King of the Court, happened to get myself another elite card, and for those of you who have probably already worked out where this is possibly going, it made a pro. Oops, no prizes for guessing who. Only problem is I cannot make a pro yet because this one is in my current season, but at least I do know when I come out, or playoff even, when I leave these playoffs, I will have another elite pro to add to the team. So really stoked about that, really happy. That's some good news, really good news. I'm trying to get as many epic primes as I can, but I just can't seem to pull them off the board. I really want to make a few more pros to get a decent team ready for the road to the championship. But hopefully if I can get the event card in King of the Court, because I'm ranked about 636 at the moment. I'm aiming for this tier 2 here. I reckon 3,500 points is going to get you close to being in, but you probably need to hit the 4k mark just to be sure, just to be safe. So I'm going to aim for somewhere around there, try and squeeze into this category and get myself up here. The pro, yep, here you go, the pro Porzingis card. That is my aim. Okay, I'm not going to worry about trying to get into the top 50 because it's going to be too much effort for me this weekend, unfortunately. I would hopefully try to show you a top 50, top 100 one event when I have a weekend free, but it's very difficult at the moment. I don't really get many of those, if any, as it actually happens. So that's what I'm going to be going for. That will be another elite card in the team and event card, if I can get that, an event pro, and we'll be well on our way to having not only a decent quick game and head-to-head lineup, but I'll also be a little piece more for my puzzle of making that deck 25 that little bit stronger. Anyway, let's have a look at a couple of more advanced things that you can do to make King of the Court that bit easier. Now the first point I do want to not bear in mind, I do want to make clear again for everyone, is that your King of the Court deck, team, whatever you want to call it, bears no relevance on what your board pool tier is. Okay, so your quick game tier is where you'll be putting your cards from. Your King of the Court tier is irrelevant. So if you were saying now in Epic Prime, we've just moved into Epic Prime, but you've got a lot of cards that are ultra rare and ultra rare pros, etc., and epics and epic pros, then I'd suggest making a team of them, because it doesn't matter what tier you're in here. That's just relevant to the people you're playing against. Fortunately, I have enough epic singles that I can work elite singles, I can work an elite tier. If I didn't have this, I'd have to put in a lot of epic prime singles, because I do have a lot of those, a lot of epic prime foils, and try and win my way through like that. So I will actually do that in a moment just to show you, but beforehand, here's a little tip. Okay, something that people maybe, I don't want to say it's advanced strategy because it's not going to help you massively, but it's something that people don't think of. So I have my Lonzo Ball here, for example, and I have my Kemba Walker. Now both of these guys are maxed out. They have a 100% chance of their ability popping off. So for that, it's going to be plus 43 playmaking, I think, and plus 43 to the offense. Also, if I had Kevin Love, which I don't, he's only 20% out of 60, maxed out as well, he'd have 100% of popping off shot creator, so that's 20 offense and 20 rebounding, I think. And if I did Brandon Ingram as well, this would be offense. So I could have 4 people which are guaranteed to proc. I don't, I've only got 2. But why is that important? Well, because if we go and play a game, let's just see what happens. If you use one of those cards in the first tier, so at the bottom, especially if it's, well, if it's your best card, it's not really what you want to be doing. But if it's one of your sub cards, you've got a 100% chance of having that boost for the rest of the tier. Now, I might lose this game, but this is just to show you. So if I use Kemba Walker here, okay, and if we just notice, we'll just pick any card. Okay, we'll pick one that isn't a pro. Let's just pick Carmelo Anthony here. He's got probably one of the best base offenses for any elite card in the tier. 7-4-1. So if I use Walker here, he's guaranteed to proc his ability. Okay, so there we go. In the background, nice glow. His ability's proc. Let's go forward. We win the match. Now 784 is his base. So there's the 43 added on to his offense. It's been added on to everyone's. So now that means for offensive matches moving forward, we've got 1, 2, 3 potentials. I have increased my team's overall. Now why is that important? Because I'm not using an offensive boost. I've got a defense and a playmaking. So by using that card, it's like having a boost. Not quite as strong as a boost, but I think you get my idea. So when we now come to this one, and it's defense, what I need to do is just pick someone with high defense, because I can use a playmaking boost and I've already got the offensive boost. So in this example, I'm going to once again use my I'm going to use this as an example game. Let's just say I didn't have all these other cards that comfortably beat them. I would use, say, my playmaking boost to guarantee that Carmelo Anthony beats him in playmaking. And defense, well, he wins anyway, okay, because he's 6 points up. Just in case there was a proc, let's say I use my boost and I use Carmelo Anthony to take on what's his name? Yeah, Mike Conley. That's it. Okay, so now done. Now technically I'd have probably kept him because he was my best offensive player, but we can move forward from that. Okay, so rebounding now and offense and playmaking, same thing again. Now I'm not going to attack the ×2 because it's more important to get to the top, so let's pick one of the others. It's exactly the same card. It's like Kevin Love. So what we're going to do, we'll pick one of our foil cards to guarantee the win. Now as you will notice here, this tip isn't game changing, it isn't revolutionary. Should we take a risk? No, we won't take a risk. Okay, just guarantee the win, but it could help you. Okay, to use your cards that are guaranteed procs will benefit your whole team. So obviously the earlier you use them, the greater benefit you will get. It's a logical process. Use them in the first or the second tier, so at where you've got 5 or 4 opponents when you first start, and you're going to boost your team throughout the rest of the game. So for those of you maybe who are using them on, let's just say you have an epic prime single, say you've got a foil and or you've got 2 epic primes and they're both singles and you're going to make them into a pro. Well, I delay making them into a pro if you're using epic prime singles. And well, actually no, that's a lie, sorry, let me rephrase that. Make sure if you want to make them into pro and you're going to use them, you improve their abilities to the maximum, so you get the first lot to being 30 out of 30%, combine them and then make it to 100%, and then you're going to get a guaranteed proc in this event if you use that card. Okay, so if you have a couple of those in your lineup, perfect, great. You know you're going to get a guaranteed boost to your team. I'm going to try the same again here. As you see, I still won. I could have got to the top, even sacrificing 2 people on the second tier and getting that ×2 points, but I'm just trying to show you the importance of getting to the top more. So first of all, let's peel off Lonzo Ball. It's going to be a guaranteed win here against Anthony Davis, and his playmaking is going to pop. So let's look at Kemba Walker, 701 there. Okay, 701 for his playmaking. He should be at 744 after this match, and then we know It has worked. There we go, 744. All my people's playmaking have improved. This isn't as important because I do have a playmaking boost, but as you look up here, playmaking and playmaking at the top tier, so it could become important, and along here. So Mike Conley again, lovely. Now we've got playmaking, rebounding, defense. So all I have to do is pick somebody like Kemba Walker can do it because he's got exactly the same rebounding. His playmaking is miles better, and although his defense is down, it's only 12 points down, where his playmaking is 39 up, I believe. Yeah. So got the win. Didn't have to use my boost there. We go to the next tier, Anthony Davis. Okay, defense. Let's use a defensive boost just to guarantee yourself to win, and let's pull out Paul George because he's got the best base defense and he's got a high-ish. Yeah, there you go. That's the win for me. And 2 offensive boosts here against a regular person. Well, we will use our our Epic Pro. Done, and now hopefully we've just got an easy win at the end. No, haven't we, mate? It's kind of irrelevant because both of these 2 cards together will exceed 14,000 in pretty much every stat. So that's going to get me the win, and there we go. We've got to the top even by using our best card at the very bottom, which isn't something I would normally do, and we still were able to play every single ×2 match going. So that's just a little way to try and help you if you are struggling, obviously if you've got the cards to do so. Now, I'm not advocating that you go out there, use all your boosts on your single cards and your pros that you're not going to use. Obviously, the only way this is going to work 100% is if you have trained your cards properly. So that means the 2 single versions of the card, you maxed them out. So it means that your pro version is also maxed out. So I can show you in here what I mean. If I go to my Lonzo Ball card and I go to improve, okay, he has a 100% chance of it activating, so you have to make sure that both the single abilities are maxed. So that's going to be 20 abilities on each of those 2, and then when you pro the card you have to use another, I think it's 40 to make it into a pro. So I believe, I could be wrong, so I believe it's 80 of your ability tokens you have to use to make sure that your card is guaranteed to activate. Now yes, even if it was say 60%, you still have a better chance and it would still help you, but that 100% activation guarantees you to be able to get that boost, and especially if it's a boost like my Kemba Walker, or if I did the same to Kevin Love, which I haven't yet. As you can see, he's only got a 20% chance of activation, and even if I use all my abilities now, he's only going to be at 60% chance. He will give me a boost in offense and rebounding, which would be good because I'm not using either an offensive or a rebounding boost. Now, just to take it that little step further, what you could do is, I will show you again, if you have your couple of people who proc in certain abilities, you could go to your, I could go over here for example and say, you know what, I'm going to get rid of my playmaking, and instead I'm going to put in a rebounding. Now the only reason I put in a rebounding boost is because I don't have anyone who's really given me that kind of support from any of my top cards, let's just say, and I'm going to use that rather than using my best support. I'm going to use the support that fills in the gaps, and that will help balance your team out. So I'm going to quickly cut off, then come back and try to show you an Epic Prime way of doing this for those of you maybe who aren't in the top tier. So bear with me one moment. Okay, so I'm back. Let's just see how this works. As you can see, I kept my 3 Epic Prime Pros here, and everything else has been replaced with just Epic Prime single foils and a couple of regular as well, just to try and not upset the chemistry and just have a load of foil cards in there. Now, as I mentioned in my previous video, foil cards are great to have in your team because they are boosted cards and you generally don't seem to come up against foil cards. Now, I haven't tried using a team full of foils to see if I pull any foil cards, but as you can see here, this is going to be a bit more difficult because I have only got one good card out, so I would probably have needed to left in maybe an extra elite single, but never mind. Let's just work our way through. So we're going to just skip through this to the top, and hopefully we'll get the win. So here we come along here again. Perfect, that's good. So I can use another elite epic prime foil. So these are just going to be guaranteed wins against the single. Oh, well, that's my bad. There you go. Okay, maybe should pay a little bit of attention, but I've got the ability to do that with my team. So now we have to look a bit quicker. Someone's got decent offense, playmaking and rebounding. Okay, so I'm guaranteed the win anyway, but I'm used to playmaking boost just in case, because this Adams is worse. It's a worse card, so I want to keep a slightly better card just to make sure he beats Julius Randle. Okay, we come up here, boom, nice little win, and finally we're hoping that we should get the win with an epic prime pro, and that's it done. So as you see, you can do this without necessarily having to have all elite cards or whatever. You can just use the best cards you've got mixed in with some of your average cards, just to keep your tier slightly more balanced and not to push you up into a tier where you come up against stronger oppositions, which makes it difficult for you. And as you can see here, as I'm picking all these board pools, I'm still in Elite Plus Plus, so I'm still able to pick off my top tier, although my deck isn't as strong as it could be. Okay, so bear that in mind, everyone. Don't have to pick off your top tier, and you don't have to use your best picks, because you will still pick from your quick game tier. So make sure your quick game tier is in the highest tier you can. And here, if you wanted to go with a slightly more balanced approach, for example, as you can see, put your pros, a few pros in. 5 pros is probably best. If you've got a 6th and then you want to try and put 1 or 2 weaker cards in, you could. So here, for example, you'd be looking at putting in maybe 2 epic singles, 2 epic foil singles, something like that, 3 epic foil singles. You wouldn't want to do any more, because if you draw all 3 of them in a match, you're basically going to lose. So you'd have to put a couple of them there, and then you're just working with foils the rest of the way. And as you can see, I have a couple of non-foils just put in, just to show you don't need to have only foils. Anyway, I've been MyTyme. Sorry for the slightly longer video. I just wanted to show you guys that ability, because it's overlooked a bit. And if anyone is finding it a bit more difficult, you can obviously use your supports to fill in the gaps, and also try and use the people with the abilities. If you're struggling, if you've maxed them out and they're on 100%, you can use those earlier on and take that whole team boost, and that might help you win a few matches later on, or at least if it was going to be close, you're going to give yourself the edge. Okay, thank you for watching. I've been MyTyme, and I'll be back when the event finishes to show you how I done. Take care.